Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Heart Talk. Today is the 27th day of November in the year 2018. I'm Sue Ellen Dickinson, and I'm going to be with you as your host for the next hour or so. Great conversation lies ahead. I can't wait to get into this subject. And as usual, take it wherever you want to go, guys, because this is a very broad but very important topic that we're going to take on today. But before we do, let me remind you that Heart Talk is so much more than just an ordinary call. And why is that? Well, because this is where you can speak your mind straight from your heart. And that's exactly what we're going to do right here on Heart Talk today. And let me also remind you that Heart Talk is brought to you by The Essentials. And what are the essentials, you might ask? Oh, great question. They are a nutritional supplement, one of several that Dr. Rudy Cartwright has created just for us MSers. And who is Dr. Rudy Cartwright? Well, in case you don't know, he is a well-renowned neurosurgeon. That's a brain surgeon. That's right. And he's also an expert in multiple sclerosis. And, boy, it doesn't get any better than that, does it, to have somebody like that in your corner and who's created these nutritional supplements for us, aware of the symptoms. So, like, the essentials have been formulated to help get rid of fatigue, to help stop that pain, tingling, and numbness. We all go through that, one degree or another, I think. To also help with vision problems and balance, and to help clear up that nasty old brain fog. Oh, my goodness, that would drive me crazy. And still does sometimes. But the essentials to the rescue, well, for me anyway. And listen, they will help you to get your energy back. And that is, I believe, just my 2 cents here, is that because Dr. Cartwright knows what we're going through, he knows all about these symptoms. Heck, he's a neurosurgeon and an expert in multiple sclerosis. What do we expect? But also, they're all natural ingredients. And one of the biggest questions I get is, well, can I take them with my current medications? And the answer is absolutely. Yes, you can. Dr. Cartwright just says, oh, heck yeah, go ahead and take them with your current medications. So the essentials are amazing. They really are. And like I said, I take them even though I'm without symptoms right now. But I take them, and other members of my family take them, and we swear by them. So what they're doing is helping people to feel better, one less symptom at a time, in my opinion, in my experience, and what I'm seeing with people around me. The essentials are amazing. Now, where can you get some to try them out for yourself? Great question. I'm going to be sending you an email as soon as we're done with the program here. Look for that. It's going to take about an hour, maybe a little longer to get to your email box, but I promise you it'll be there. It'll have the replay link in it to this great conversation we're about to have. Scroll down about halfway, and you'll see in capital letters, Get Dr. Cartwright's Supplements. In that, you will see a link to the essentials. Click on that. You'll be able to read everything I've just gone over, excuse me, and then some. Click on that link and pick yourself up a bottle. I know you're going to be glad you did, because they really are helping people to feel better, one less symptom at a time. And while you're at it, please visit my website, which is nomorems.com, as in no more multiple sclerosis, but that's nomorems.com. Scroll down, again, there about halfway, and subscribe. It's easy, and it's free. And what that's going to do is get you on my list so that you'll be receiving everything I send out through email, all the notices, the notifications, all the news and information that I want to send out to you that I feel is pertinent for you to know. So go ahead and do that. And also, find me on Facebook. We need to get the word out. And we're doing a great job, but we need even more people, because we're actually attracting people to this program right here off of Facebook. So we want to reach as many as we can. So go to Facebook and hit that like button and say, yeah, Sue Ellen, this is really one for the books, right? So let's do it and see, get the word out. We want to get the word out that there is hope for people. We want to get the word out about Dr. Cartwright's products. I know there are many people on the call right now taking them. And in my book, my opinion, those products are worth their weight in gold because they are making a difference in people's lives for the better. So there you go. Look for that email. Click on the link for the essentials. Go to my website, nomorems.com. Please subscribe because I know you're going to be glad you did, and you're really going to get in the loop that way. And also, scoot on over to Facebook and see what's going on over there and give me a like on Facebook. That would really be cool. So, all right. Well, that said, I guess I've got all that out of the way, and but I did want to bring you up to speed on everything that's going on and what's happening and this, that, and the other thing. So there we go. All my housekeeping is out of the way. I can put my broom and all that business away, right? My dust cloth. I got the housekeeping out of the way. So let's get down to why we're really here today. And that's to talk about a subject. Basically, we talk about this all the time. And that subject would be body, mind, and spirit. But I ran across this article by Calie Wyatt. And I was really drawn into what she was saying about body image. And I wanted to share this with you because she narrowed it down to body image, but I want to broaden the topic out a little bit. You'll see why as we get in. I think, I won't have to say a word. You'll catch on if you haven't already, if you've read the article. Excellent article, Calie, not putting a damper on that in any way, shape, or form. But I want to broaden it out a little bit. I want to cover the importance of the body, the mind, and the spirit together. And she does touch on it, and we're going to get to that as I read it to you, in case you haven't seen the email, read her article, or just need a refresher on it. Because, see, what we see in ourselves, whether it's the outer shell of our physical bodies, and this is important, the outer shell of our physical bodies, very important. We're really going to nail that subject down today. It is what we think we should look like to the rest of the world, right? Or is it all about experiencing the real psychological damage that we create for ourselves by thinking poorly and actually making things up about how we look, how we present ourselves to the world, how we feel? Because, see, all of this put together becomes our self-image. And from that, self-esteem, self-worth, on and on and on. And we're going to talk about that. Calie addresses that here in this article that she has written about, that it's all the total of balancing everything, all of that together, and finding what of it can bring us the true happiness and peace of mind in this very chaotic world that we live in today. And I don't think anybody is going to disagree with that. So it's all important. Let me go ahead and read this article by Calie Wyatt to you, sort of get a refresher course, and then let's talk about it. Let me grab my orange juice. Hold on, please. There we go. All right, here's Calie's article. Body image. Almost everyone worries about how they look. It's just human nature. But in today's society, with perfection surrounding you on social media, it's even easier to get caught up in being consumed with how you look. Having a disease like MS, where your body doesn't always function the way it should, and subsequently can affect the way you look, having a positive body image can prove, difficult. I began having pretty significant issues with my body image and self-esteem at the ripe old age of 12, so right around puberty. Pretty normal, right? I was just like any other preteen girl with low self-esteem until I was diagnosed with MS at 14, and those feelings just amplified.
Wow.
I've never been a huge fan of what I've seen in the mirror. It doesn't matter if I've been told I'm the most beautiful girl in the world that day. When I look in the mirror, 90% of the time, I'm unhappy with what I see. I feel like even on days that I'm feeling good and pretty confident, that as soon as I look in the mirror, it's like a black fog comes, and all I can see is everything negative about myself. And then one day, it clicked. I find that a lot of the negativity I feel towards my body image is attributed to the MS. Because illness has a way of making a negative impact on body image. People like ourselves with the disease are often pitied or even blamed for our ailments. We experience pain, discomfort, loss of control, and changes in appearance. And on top of all of that, there's a social stigma that tends to come with this disease. And that in itself can be a heavy blow to self-esteem and body image. Both the physical aspects and the social stigma can have adverse psychological effects that cause us to view ourselves in a negative light. With MS comes a lot of fear. There is fear of rejection, fear of losing control mentally and physically, and fear of what's to come. All of these things don't exactly make it easy when you want to put yourself out there. So it can cause anxiety, especially in social situations. However, I think the biggest part of my self-esteem issues doesn't come from those things I just listed. Instead, mine comes from the sense of being different. It's psychologically been hard for me to process the fact that I'm not normal. And that sense of being different can make me feel unattractive and insecure. It can make me feel less than. Our bodies are put to the test. We watch our bodies change, and we watch them betray us. And then we watch our bodies turn into something we never expected, something different and something strange. It feels odd, and it feels foreign. So, only seems right to be appalled by what's staring back at us in the mirror, right? Well, there are 4 ways I try to improve my self-esteem. See, but we shouldn't feel that way. I most certainly don't want to feel that way. At least, I don't want to feel less than. So each day I try to do something to improve in this area of my life. My body image and my self-esteem are obviously an everyday struggle, at least for me. It's never been something that comes easily, but it is something that I actively work on. It is something I desperately want to improve. And here are a few of the ways I try to do that every day. Each day that I look in the mirror and I don't like what I see, I try to find one positive thing. It doesn't have to be a physical aspect either. It can be something as simple as, hey, you totally rocked at cooking breakfast today, and I'm proud of you. I'm on social media most days, but I know my limits. I like to get on and check on family and work things, and when I start being sucked into looking at profiles of perfectly put-together people with their unflawed lives and unflawed bodies, I know it's time to get off. And I have to remind myself that most of these people on social media are not showing their bad days. They are unrealistic. And I shouldn't compare myself to anyone online, ever, period. Now, I can't deny my illness, that's true. But I can remind myself of everything in my life that gives me purpose. I'm a wife. I'm a mom, I'm a friend, a daughter, a sister. I am worthy. I am good. I am enough. And MS does not define me. Each day, I try to do something to improve. I enjoy finding new healthy recipes or new workouts to try. I may not be confident as a whole most days, but I'm able to find confidence in doing little things each day. I enjoy finding ways that I am strong and capable, and finding confidence in knowing that I'm doing things to make myself better physically, mentally, and emotionally. So, these are just a few of the ways I try to work on. I know that most people probably have their own body image issues, and I hope that this can be of help to them as well.
What is that?
Uh-oh. Yeah, we have an echo. Sorry, guys. Interruption. Let me keep going.
Okay.
This self-esteem and body image stuff isn't for the birds. It's taxing. Moreover, it can bring you down and crush your spirit. I know it's consumed too many of my days, many more than I'd even like to admit. However, again, it's something I work on daily. And I find a little bit of confidence and a positive outlook on my self-image, knowing that. So, now it's your turn. I'd love to hear what you do to work on your self-esteem and body image with MS. Give me all you got, because I hope you look in the mirror and like what you see. And just as a reminder, you are amazing. And that's what Calie has to say about that.
Good.
So let's hear. Let me hear from you guys.
This is terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look at myself and I see myself being the same person. It's just some things that I'm just not able to do, but I don't look at it as a bad thing. And a lot of people that are on this call that are regulars know who I am and how I am, and that I don't let MS get me down. Yes, I do have, my bad days, but like I tell everyone, I'd rather have MS than to have to go through everything else, because it's time-consuming, it's frustrating, but I don't view myself, when I look at my self-image, I don't see myself being any different besides, I can't walk as fast, I can't talk as fast as I used to do, but then also I can actually calculate that up to age. Age causes things like that too. So I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with the skin I'm in, and I'm amazing. And MS is just a bonus for me.
Well, there you go.
What do you think, Virginia? What do you think? She said some profound things here.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is, no, I can't say it. I'd be too embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. Come on.
Well, you just, sometimes things happen that you don't expect, like you might pee your pants one day. Just hypothetically, of course,
Of course.
Somebody might do that, but things happen that you just really don't expect, and it's just like, wow, that now I have to go to the store and buy garments and put a thing around my waist to see how big it is, and just different things happen to you that, make you think, holy.
Does that affect
that wasn't nice.
Oh, it's very true. That's real.
Yeah.
I mean, that's real, and that's what we're talking about here. Look, she says, where is it? Okay, this is one sentence. Let me go back to Calie for a minute. With MS comes a lot of fear. There's fear of rejection, fear of losing control, which is what you're talking about, mentally and physically, and fear of what's to come. So that's what? Anxiety, because she goes on to talk about anxiety, especially in social situations, she says. And she's right, because what you're talking about is that anxiety, and fear creates anxiety, anxiety creates fear, loss of control, and I think that's a lot of what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Virginia, one thing that you can kind of look at when you were growing up, did you pee your pants? You were a little girl?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Did a poop too.
Yes. kind of considered as you went back into childhood stage, kind of like Alzheimer's situations.
Yeah.
Kind of put that in the frame of mind because we are aging, and as we age, we do go back to a child state. So you can also incorporate that with it and see if that'll help you kind of get over the anxiety and the fear of having MS, you know. Because, again, we have MS, it doesn't have us. And we are some of the strongest creatures out there because every disease that's out there in the world, we're facing it. And it's nothing that anyone could ever say and say, oh, you're weak, you're this and that. No, you're weak next to me because I'm battling something that you couldn't do at one time and having to get it thrown at you and never know when it's going to be thrown at you. So that's the good thing about us being strong. So that's how I incorporate things as in a positive way to, you know, to take the negative effects away from it. And that's how I can say MS is not.
Thank you very much, Loretta.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're welcome, honey.
That helps. That helps. Thank you.
It does, because, and let me just give another little angle to what Toretta is saying, because that was beautifully put, Toretta. But, you know, we tend to beat ourselves up, right? And that's, we're going back to the self-image. And when we started this conversation, I said, you know, we're going to, it starts out real heavy with the body image. And I think a lot of it, because that's the physical. I mean, we live in a physical world, you know, and you cannot control always your bladder muscle. Let's be honest. I mean, you know, tell it like it is. You know, we've all experienced this. You know, it's nothing new. Although when it happens to us, we think it is. And we think we're the only one on the planet, you know, who's got a weak bladder muscle. Not so. And we tend to beat ourselves up, whether it's over that or anything else. You know, and so much of this, you know, remains internal. And this is really where I want to take this. It remains internal, and so we shut it in, our fear, our angst, our anxiety, our feeling of less than, which she goes into very beautifully, because this is where it all goes. But by shutting it in, by shutting it down, what do we do? What do we do? Anybody want to pick it up from there? Let me keep going. What we do is we cut off the communication. Let me just put it that way: the communication, the connection between body, the mind, and the spirit. Now, this is what Toretta's talking, and you too, Virginia, is that you've got to keep that connection, that communication, and it is. It's a type of communication, open, between the body and the mind, first of all, and then, of course, the spirit is right there, and we give it all back to the spirit, because that's kind of the head honcho, if you will. I know I'm putting it real simple, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and we've got to keep that connection going, because it keeps our minds healthy, keeps our emotional balance healthy, you know?
No, I think I'm dealing with it okay. I know that I need to go over to the drugstore and get something, you know, that's going to help. But make sure that won't happen again, you know.
Yeah.
It'll happen again, but not the way it
ready
did
for
first
it.
time. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
You'll be ready for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I agree. So, that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do is prepare yourself. And that's what makes you the strong person, is because you already know something's going to happen, you know, because it's no secret that all the things that a normal person would have happen to them, you know, it would be more embarrassing to them, because what is the reason this is happening to them versus us? We know why it's happening to us, so we can prepare ourselves. But really, in reality, they don't know what's happening to them, so they can't really explain, oh, I peed my pants and I'm, you know, 30 years old, and they don't have MS or something that would, you know, have some kind of symptom like that. So in reality, we have an upper hand in things than others do, and that's what people tell me all the time, because you wouldn't imagine how many people that I meet on a frequent basis that say, you know, I have leaking bladder, you know, issues and stuff like that, but I'm not sick or anything. And it's like, okay, so what's going on to cause them to have that, you know? And then we just have to chalk it up and say, oh, it's just age. You know, I'm getting older and things like that. So we have the upper hand on everything, really, in my book. And I used to be that person that was like, oh, my God, I'm 30 years old, and here I am using the bathroom like I'm a little kid. You know, I used to be in that same, I used to see things just like that. But, again, it took me 3 years of counseling to get to where I'm at today. And I've been here for quite some time now. I've been diagnosed for the past 7 years, and others have been longer than me. But my outlook on things, I try to stay very positive, and I use MS as just my platform, I guess you could say, to say this is what keeps me strong. If I didn't have MS, would I be this person I am today, or would I be somebody else?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I understand you. And I've been to counseling too, and that's really helped me be a very confident person.
I can tell.
Sometimes we get surprises.
Yeah, but I can tell. I can really tell, because Virginia, you're an amazingly strong woman. Believe it or not, you may think that you're not, but even Sue Ellen could agree with me on this one. And you're welcome to speak up anytime, because when you came on the line, it was like, I can't do this, I'm afraid to do that, but now look at you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's so true. And, you know, I think there is tremendous value in these conversations that we're having. I think that this heart talk, you know, I've said, well, from day one, I mean, you know, it's like this is God sent, and I believe it is. And I'm not trying to drive off in the weeds here by saying that, but I honestly believe that's a fact because of what we're talking about right now. You know, Teresa, you said something very, very profound, that we know what we're dealing with. Yes, it can be the albatross around our necks, and sometimes it is.
Mm-hmm.
It can also be a tremendous lesson in life, and it can be a teacher. And, I just kind of, I get the fingernails on the chalkboard, feeling when I say that, you know, but I actually feel that's very true, because there are those moments, and we've talked about that before here on Heart Talk, where it can be a teacher. We don't have to like it, certainly not, but there it is, and it's there whether we like it or not, whether we want it or not. So as they say, you know, life gives you lemon, make lemonade. Okay, so would you pass the sugar over here, please? We're out of sugar over here for this lemonade. It's too sour. Yeah, you know, you get my drift. You know what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'd like to ask if anyone would be willing to share anything about what they learned when they went to counseling.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. Thanks, Carol. I mean, were these people that understood MS? Did you talk about MS? Could you get through to them, or did you talk solely about emotional issues? How'd that work?
Me, sorry, go ahead. Oh, was that you, Sue Ellen, again?
Yeah, good.
Oh, okay.
It's your turn.
No, I consider myself a professional. When it comes to counseling, my husband and I have gone quite a bit. So, yes, it's mostly emotional, but I mean, it runs the gamut, you know. It depends on where I'm at, where he's at, what's been happening. But it has to do with some of us are luckier than others. Some of us are given huge hills to climb and a lot of pain in our life. And when you feel like you just don't know feel depressed because you just don't know how to solve problems that are happening to you, and the hill is too high, you need help from someone else. And I think for a lot of people, that is the one single problem that they can't get past. The idea that if they go to therapy, then that means that there's a problem with them. And they don't want to admit that there's anything that's happening to them that it could be a problem. They don't want to tell anybody about what they've gone through because they may be seen as less than. Did you hear what she was talking about? Oh, my God. Whereas I'm more vocal, just because I've been doing it for so long, that, yeah, it's painful sometimes, when you talk about things that are really hard to talk about. And it's, you also grow as a person. You grow, I guess it depends. I'm talking we've been going sort of long term. Some people go to counseling because they have a problem and they don't know how to fix it. And they go in and they talk to the counselor and it gets solved. And that's it. They're good. They go. But other people who have had lifetimes of difficulties, whether it's with family members or, some people have a much harder life to walk than others. So they are the people that would go for a much longer period of time to learn about themselves and to learn to get rid of all the preconceived ideas that they have about themselves, how they think that they failed in a stressful situation, and to wipe that slate clean. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and yes, and that's exactly what Calie was talking about here, and what I was trying to bring up about some of the imaginings that we have, and they are. We can think very poorly in some cases, and really bring stuff on ourselves.
Yeah.
I think by saying, "Ooh." Now I'm not picking at her when I say this, but by looking in the mirror, and she, bless her heart. And by the way, if you've ever seen a picture of her, she's a very pretty little girl, very, very pretty. But I can understand through what you've just said. How that can, and I think we all can relate. At some point we just, you could be, Elizabeth Taylor and looking in the mirror and say, "Oh, where'd you come from? You're ugly as a mud fence."
I'm sure she had ugly days too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm sure she did because she's human like we were.
Yeah.
But but I think the thing is the clarity and the truth. We go back to that. The realism and what you're talking. Excuse me. I meant the realistic approach. And what you're talking about is really getting a second opinion. From yourself. Yourself being the first opinion and getting a second opinion from a professional. And by the way, one thing that you did mention, I just want to kind of chime in on that. People being afraid of what others are going to think, i.e. the counselor. There's this professionalism for anybody listening or listening to the replay. Whatever you say to a doctor or a counselor or a shrink or anybody like that, it does not leave that room. It does not leave the conversation. No. Right. It's completely confidential. There's no putting it in the newspaper or anything like that.
Now, I have to say that one time before I had gone to see a counselor, and I went to leave, and he called me a spoiled brat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What brought that on?
I don't know.
What context?
That was his idea of me, of who I was. And he was so off base. And I was as I was going out the door.
Ooh.
I just got up and I never went back.
What's that, Val?
You could have turned to him and you could have reported him.
Yeah, I should have. I just, was really, but yeah. What was I going to do? You're right, I could have.
Why? Why did he? Do you know? Do you think you know?
Well, I was just having difficulties in my life, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for it, and I really, wow. That if you
did you see him one time, Virginia?
Pardon?
Did you go to him one time?
Yes, only one time.
Okay. I mean, it was the first time that you went to him and he told you that. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, he obviously wasn't. He was sort of he was in a group of counselors. You know how it was like a big office, and you know, just they were all in cubicles and everything. And I don't know that this guy was that educated. I mean, he may have been very educated, but I sure did. You know, it just didn't feel right. And I thought, I'm not going back to you. No. You are a mean person.
You did the right thing.
I mean, even in just a normal day, course of a day, you don't say that to somebody.
Oh,
unless you're looking for a fight, and then you say something like that. But you don't normally.
Yeah,
I would have hit him. I would have hit him. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have hit him.
Yeah.
Because I come to you for help, and here you are.
And I'm putting my trust in you.
Yes.
You idiot.
I would have hit him, and I would have then reported it.
Yeah. Yeah. But
the unfortunate thing about reporting, though, is that then it becomes he said, she said. You know.
Yeah. You always come out on the wrong end.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
And that's you're right. You're right on that issue. But I would have hit him. I would have felt better, and still reported him. So if it did come out, he say, she say, I got my hit in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I wanted to just let him have it, but you know, I don't know.
Be the bigger person and just walk away.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? That maybe that was a blessing in disguise. Yep. Because you found out his true colors.
Yep.
Right off the get-go, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You found his.
And God said, vengeance is mine, said the Lord, I will repay. So let God pay him back.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And it will happen.
That's right.
What goes around comes around, and it does. Believe me, we all know that.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the flesh talking for me. That's the flesh speaking on me. I do agree.
So there are people that are not good therapists. Just beware. And don't let anybody treat you that way. No. You know, if anyone decides
there was a charge against you. If you had hit him, then there was a charge against you. Especially
you're right.
Yeah, we'd be bailing you out of jail.
But the thing is, how can he charge her? Because something's wrong with her. That's why she had to go to counseling.
Have a witness.
Well, the law doesn't see it that way. Of course, I don't know how that works in Canada, but I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, no.
That's hypothetical. But, this is really interesting because, has this helped you, Virginia, with your MS? I know you probably went for, life issues or, private stuff and all that, and we're not gonna ask you about that. But has it helped you with MS?
I think it has helped me incredibly with my confidence. My confidence was very low for a long time, and when I had, starting with MS, I mean, your confidence kind of goes, it hits the bottom, right?
Right.
But, therapy will, well, I guess it's the individual therapist that you go to, but I had a lot of help with my confidence, and I got to learn a lot about myself. And
what did they triggered that? What did they say to make you look deep inside? And because you got to find those answers for yourself.
Yeah, you do. And I think it's the questions that they ask and how they ask them, and what do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. I see.
Yeah, how did that happen to you? What were the things that happened that made you feel this way? And you just you really go through. I came home every time because I did go for a long time. I came home every time with things to think about for the next time, about myself, questions about me that I needed to think about, and that is very therapeutic. It really is.
I mean, so interesting you bring that up, because that's what we try to do here on Heart Talk. It's to get us to think.
Mm-hmm.
This is not one size fits all.
Yeah.
It never has been, never will be. It's not one size fits all.
Right.
But it is about making us think.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you're talking about is the extension of what we're talking about here, subject matter going back to Calie. Now, Calie started off with the body image, and she's 100% right. And I believe that is where so much of it stems from. I mean, yes, we live in a physical world and, blah, blah, blah. But then here come the extensions into the emotional fabric of our lives, the emotional behavior of ourselves and others, the emotional reactions, the highs and lows, how it all goes, how it transponds from the mind into the spirit. Can we allow it? What is that communication? How do we derive that? How do we? And I think that what you just said is exactly the path we try and take here on Heart Talk, is to ask the questions and make us think. Because it's not one size fits all, but it is one size fits all as far as the MS, because we all need to think about our individual lives, our individual reactions.
And I think a lot of times, people would like to go to therapy because they feel helpless.
Perhaps.
Right? They just don't know how to deal with the problem that they have. And there's this feeling of helplessness. And that's a terrible, terrible feeling when you don't know what to do. You're afraid to go for therapy or you can't. In Canada, fortunately, we get to go for free. So that's a wonderful thing. In the States, not so. I understand that there must be a lot of people that can't do that, and that's a very sad thing to me. I think all of you should move to Canada, and then you don't have
We're all
to
coming to your house.
Yeah, everybody come and live at my house.
We're all going to jump in the time machine right now, and we're going to your house for lunch.
We're going to Virginia's house for therapy.
Yes, but just make sure it's warm. Just make sure it's warm when we come.
Oh, yeah, I've got lots of heat. Don't worry, baby. But I'll be your therapist, okay?
Okay.
Virginia, if you did not have to pay that guy, it's like, no wonder. I mean, I was wondering how in the hell he could keep his business going by treating people like that.
Maybe he hasn't, Carol. We don't know.
Oh,
well, the government obviously was paying him. Am I correct?
Of course. I'm sure.
Yeah. So
how
did I help you, Carol, with your question?
You're just giving me things to think about. And what my problem would be if somebody would ask me, like, what do you think? I'd have to take a long time to think of it. I wouldn't be able to answer them on the spot.
That's right. That's why you go home with the information to think about. And then when you go back the next time, you say, hey, I always think you have to go into that quiet spot. You see where we're talking about the quiet spot where you just lay and you think and just have it go through your mind and you come up with answers. And then you go back and you say, well, I think that this is what the problem is. I'm pretty sure that this is what it is. And hey, sometimes you're right.
Sometimes I had homework.
You hit on exactly where I wanted to take this. Because seriously, because we go from what you're talking about is what we're talking about here on the subject, going from the physical, a physical problem, let's just call it that, a physical problem, and then we go into the silence. That's what I call it, is going into the silence. And I'll expand on that in a second, but by going into the silence, we relax everything. We open our minds, right? We open our minds, and then the mind says, aha, okay, gee, Virginia, thanks for laying me down here so I get a chance to speak up, the mind says. And then it feeds it into the spirit. And once it hits, I'm a great believer, once it hits that spirit, and once that awareness is allowed to absorb into our spiritual awareness, Katie barred the door, there's no stopping you. There's no stopping you, because then you're on. Huh?
Did you say Katie by the door?
Katie by the door. Yes.
What does that mean?
Now, don't get me off topic. I'll go back to that. Don't get me off topic.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, when I go talk about, because this is, I'll get there. But when I talk about going into the silence, it means that we go from the chaotic. Okay, and that's what, and if you've got that article, reread it from Calie, because this is where she goes. Being really analyzing what she's saying is she takes it from the chaotic of the physical, and what we want to do, and this is where we aim to go, is we go into the silence. And what is going into the silence? Going into the silence is when our lives are absolutely chaotic. Whether it's just in our minds and we can't figure it out, like what we're talking about.
You need to figure something out.
Yeah, right. Or around us, or maybe there's noise and chaos around. We escape that. And how do we do that? We go into the silence. We either lay down, like you're talking about, or we sit quietly in a chair. We do not fuss with straightening pictures on the wall. We don't thumb through magazines. We don't look out the window and watch traffic go by. No. We absolutely shut it out, and we get that clarity.
I lay on my bed.
In our mind. We relax. By doing so, we relax in our mind. We simply lie there and let it happen. We don't recite poetry. We don't, nothing. We just let it be. And we let the mind open. And by doing that, we let it absorb into the spirit. And you are 100% right, because the answer will come. If you do that for 20 to 30 minutes, and you do it right, and you just don't think of anything else, the answer will come to your mind. You try it sometime, you guys. You try it. This is called going into the silence, and I guarantee you that the answer will be given to you, and it will come into your mind, and you will go, aha, yes.
And
it will absorb into your spirit. And once it is absorbed into the spirit, you are unstoppable.
Yeah.
And
by the way, the feeling is wonderful.
Sorry?
Once you have realized you've solved that problem.
Yes.
It's wonderful. You just
It is. There's no going back, is there? There's no going back.
No.
And so what do you want to do? You want to do it again with the next problem. And by the way, when I said Katie by the door, that's an American slang saying, like, watch out. Here it comes.
I've never heard that before.
Duck and cover. Yeah. It's like, whoa, here we go. Yeah. Katie by the door. Yeah.
Katie by the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sue Ellen has all kinds of statements.
Yeah. All kinds
She's
of
like a dictionary. Well, you should write a book on statements like that.
I probably should. I've collected enough over the years, haven't I? But it works. It works.
I think every time you say it, write it down. Every time you think of Katie by the door, write that down. Because I want a list. You have a list of sayings that just blow me away. I don't know what they mean.
After a while,
Sue Ellen is busier than a one-armed paper hanger.
Oh, you like that? Busier than a one-armed paper hanger? Yeah, it's true, though, isn't it? Yeah, we've all been there.
So
in
other words, I'm sorry, Katie by the door. I never heard that saying before, but
really,
in other words, giving them a silent treatment. Give somebody the silent treatment. I've heard it like that. So I guess that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Katie by the door means get ready. All bets are off. Here it comes. Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. That's been around forever and a day.
I never heard of that before.
Western U.S., Midwestern, Western kind of a slang saying. It was it's been around for a long time. But I'm surprised you haven't heard it. But now, okay, well, I'm glad I could shed some intellectual light on our conversation.
Yeah. I've heard the silence treatment. But I guess that's what you mean, Katie by the door. Okay, I'm going to remember that one. Katie by the door.
I haven't heard it either. I've never heard it either myself. But
really?
The silent treatment, yes.
Well, now, okay, I'm confused. What are you talking about, the silent treatment? Where does that come in?
I'm saying, to me, that reminds me of giving somebody the silent treatment.
Oh, remind you. I see. Remind you. Yeah, because it's certainly not the same thing. It's more of a powerhouse statement, that kind of a thing. But yeah, I mean, do you guys get it? We are so dictated, of course, by the laws of physics, because we live in a physical world, and we need to train our minds, to train ourselves, literally, to be able to not escape from it, certainly not. I mean, we're here for a reason, but to kind of rise above it in these times when, things get a little out of hand and we start feeling less than, or, things are moving a little too fast for us. That make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You put it very well.
Absolutely.
So, Ellen, I'm doing a treatment called EFT, or Emotional Freedom Treatment.
What's that?
Or Emotional Freedom Technique. And it's somewhat related to acupuncture, only instead of needles, it's just tapping. So you're repeating statements and tapping on different points.
Is that tap thing? Is that what you're talking about?
I've not heard it referred to as tap, but that's what it is. That you're, with one finger, you're tapping on various parts of your body, which is like a meridian, which is the same as going in through with acupuncture using needles. So it's the same concept, and there's certain meridians, and this is supposed to help you a lot. And I'm not sure if I understand how it's helping me, but
is it helping you?
It is. After a while, like in my situation, I'm tapping on a particular statement or statements regarding my brother hating me. And you say, you make up a statement, and you start out by saying whatever the statement is, and then saying that I still love and accept myself. And I guess in doing that, you're getting a message through to your body that regardless of what's gone on or not going on, I guess you could say you still have good self-image. And so maybe that's what is getting through to the body. And then as you go on, you may start out with original statement, that I can't even think of anything off my head right now of what I would have said, but with regards to my brother. And then as you go on, you're maybe saying a shorter version of it that you're tapping on and going through. And I really think when I'm listening to this call, and that it is that you are getting your self-image from it, and that thereby helps
really
you.
Interesting.
And it, I've gone a few sessions with my naturopathic doctor, but really it's something you can sit at home and do.
So you kind of can go, you learn, and then you go home and work on it, right?
Right.
Oh.
What did you call this freedom technique?
Emotional freedom technique.
Wow.
Or another, like a short version is EFT. And I know, for example, like Dr. McCullough, if you go on his website, he has quite a bit of information on it. But I could also send Sue Ellen some information I have that she could share with you.
Yeah. Would you mind doing that, Heather? And then I can just send it out to everybody. That'd be terrific.
Right.
Yeah, I think we'd all love it.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, it is, and it it can be a big issue or a little issue, and if you tap on yourself, there's a chance of you getting rid of it, so to speak.
So
and
are there specific parts of your body that you tap on?
Yes, there are.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
So that was by doing these specific positions in your body.
that's where you're getting into meridians, and which is what acupuncture does.
Well, if I can interject, just and I don't know anything about what you're talking about, so I really want to know. But as you're explaining it, Heather, it's making perfect sense to me, because we talk about we live in a physical world. I mean, you hear me say that again and again and again ad nauseum. But what does that mean when we start connecting it to the body, the mind, and the spirit? It means that we are tapping, no pun intended, but we are tapping into what? The energies. What is an energy? It's a frequency. And the meridians of the body, they're very real, guys. Heck, there's meridians of the earth. We've heard about, go back to study the pyramids, study what they did back then to, with the pyramids and the ley lines of the earth and all that. It's fascinating stuff. So there are ley lines, there are meridians, and the meridians are connection, to the energies, to the frequencies. And I think that's the basis of what you're talking about. Is it not, Heather?
I would say it is. It is the basis. And I know, for example, not only does Dr. McCullough recommend EFT, he recommends it for MS.
Oh, really? See, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So it's you know what, Chad? It's for us. He recommends that people with MS do it. So it is something that is for us.
Well, that is awesome. Well, listen, I hate to cut it short, guys, but we're going to have to leave it there. Heather, please send that over. In fact, if you can do that within the the next little while, I'll get it out into the email that I send the replay out to. So if you shoot me a quick email with that, I'll include that in the email, and folks can go in and have a look at it. So,
very interesting.
Cool.
As we're talking, I'm looking up, and I just found my message.
Okay.
So.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. I will look for that when we hang up. And guys, I hate to cut it short, but we have to. The interest of time. So, what I want to do is ask everybody if you have any final comments or anything you'd like to add before we close out the editorial commentary portion of our program. Anybody?
Yeah, I will. I'll say something real quick. I'm not a doctor. I want you all to understand that. But I went to my doctor because I was having problems with my bladder at one time, and he told me to, in order to not urinate on yourself, then to hold, like you have to use the bathroom, just squeeze your vagina or your whatever.
The muscles,
Let it go, the muscles, and then practice doing that throughout the day, and it'll help strengthen your muscles, and you won't have those episodes so much.
Ooh, thank you.
I would agree, but some of us, like myself, I lost that ability. So I don't have any muscles to contract to be able to do that. So if it comes out, it's going to come out.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for the information.
Yeah, sure.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. And anyone else?
Give it a shot. I just wanted to say thank you.
Well, thank you.
No. Thank you.
No, thank you.
I was just going to say, I remember a couple of years ago, it was something from the internet. I was just kind of reading, and it was like tapping around. This was to help with headache, and it was like supposed to be tapping around like your eye socket, or certain places on your forehead and your face.
Okay, well, we will get that from Heather, and I will get that out to you guys. So thank you, Heather. Thank you. And thank you, guys. I mean, really, I think this has been a very informative call, very eye-opening. Yeah, and the whole thing is to keep all the channels open. I know that not everybody I wish more people could be on this call and hear these conversations and the input and the contributions that you guys share. It's just really invaluable. And we do have quite a number of people listening to to the replay, but I want more. Really, get the word out. So, by the way, go to Facebook, please, and it's under Miracles Now, and no 2MS, no the number 2MS, and you'll find us there. But anyway, all right. If there's anybody else, last minute, last call, we got to move on.
Okay, I just want to. This is Sherry. I just want to say, I missed last week because I was going for the MRI.
Right.
And it was over 3 hours long.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
Sherry.
Poor Carl was sitting in the waiting room. They had no TV and no hunting magazines.
Oh.
That poor man was climbing the wall.
Oh, well, bless you.
But I was comfortable. They had good tunes coming in the headphones. I took naps while I was in there. It was not painful at all. And in a few days, I'll be getting results of what the MRI said.
Right,
and the other thing I wanted to say, I was listening and taking notes and stuff. The one thing about body image, the one thing I always do when I look in the mirror, I think, at first I'm thinking, oh, man, I need makeup. I need to do my hair. I can't do my hair because I have 1.5 arms anymore. But then I look and I think several sermons have been on this. You know what? You are special, Sherry. God gave his life for you.
Amen.
For you. Amen. You are special. So anyway, that helps me to get back on track.
Thank you, Sherry.
Back on track.
That's great.
Fantastic.
That's great. And with that, that's beautiful. And on that note, on that note, we are going to move into the prayer portion. Perfect segue.
Oh, I can't
Sherry,
say anything real quick?
Sorry?
I said I can't say anything real quick?
Real quick, yes, real quick, please.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm going to see my neurologist on Thursday.
Okay. Well, keep us posted, and you will be in our prayers day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just thought I would mention that.
All right.
Now
yes,
thank you. You're very welcome.
All right. And for those of you who may be listening to this on the replay, or if you joined us here live for the first time, what we do is we always end our calls with a prayer and reading the names on the prayer list. And the reason for that is that we want to say thank you to our Lord Jesus Christ for bringing us together. I said at the beginning of this program, there is a reason this is happening, and I'm not going to pretend to know all about that reason, but I know there's a reason. And I know that God gave us this and has allowed it to happen and brought each and every one of us here on board to have these amazing, enlightening conversations. So what we do is we say thank you by reading the prayer and the names on the prayer list. And as I go into that, are there any new names to go on the prayer list this week?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I have two. I don't know their last names, but I just found out about they have MS, both of them. One's name is Beth.
Beth?
Uh-huh.
All right, we have Beth.
And the other one, her name is Megan. And what makes it so special about Megan is 13 years old. And as you already know, MS is found in adolescent children,
right,
but at the same time, not as much. Right. So she's one, and she's a very strong young lady, I was told, and she's getting along with everything, and she had 12 lesions on her brain and her spinal cord between the two.
Well,
so
she is on the prayer list now. She is on the prayer list now. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me take a sip of juice. There we go. Nothing like Florida orange juice. All right, so we will now enter the prayer portion of our call. And let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your divine intervention into the lives of so many that need your help. We ask that you answer our fervent prayers to help those who are in need and afflicted with multiple sclerosis and other ailments and diseases that are interfering with their lives and in many cases crippling their lives. And as we read these names aloud now, Father, we ask that the Holy Spirit moves through these lines of communication that are connecting us all around the world, and that the Holy Spirit will carry our voices together with our prayers into the heavens, and that you will hear our prayers and grant comfort to those who ask for your divine intervention in their lives, for them and for their families. and grant them healing. Restore them to good health, and that you will cover them with your blessings and divine presence and protection. We thank you, Father, for hearing our prayers. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
And I will now read the names on the prayer list. Donnell, Linda, Sandra, Erica, Shamang, Dyke, Carlos in Canada, Janet Carroll and family, Tish and Luke Roskams in the UK, Mary Ferris, Jeremy Mann, Julie Perkins, Rashawn Jefferson, Damon Jones, Scotty Williams, Barbara Cleary in the UK, Linda Hawley, Sylvia, Greg Evenson and family, Arthur Marsalis, Veronica Lewis, Tanya Thompson, Kathy Pedrick, Mark, Francine Mankari, Tamala Lewis and family, Michelle, Joe in the UK, Carol in Iowa, Edie in Missouri, Alberta in Kansas, Will in Konachek, Sandra Moen, Susan, Russ Disdar and family, Donna and Nathan Leal, Kathleen in Boston, Frankie, Melissa, and Destiny in Boston, Tracy Whiting, Clint and Cliff in Kansas, Phyllis in Kansas, Jennifer in the UK, Linda Jean, Sherry Gudgeon, Sabrina Sutton, Tracy Thacker, Melanie Monteith, Edie Neal, Sybil Winham, Manfred Pauli in Venezuela, Donna and son Andrew, Mubin in Cape Town, South Africa, Rona, Noor, Rami, Ferris, Muhammad, Jilhan, Travis and Ellen Thacker, John, Tommy and family, Dennis Walker, Faye, Maria in South Africa, Jennifer, Charlotte Matrisic, Maria in Nevada, Louise in Alabama, Patty in Alabama, Sybil Wyndham, Gloria, Contessa, Mrs. Disney, Ladios, Dr. Paul Hegstrom, Lorraine, Irene, Lydia, Mike Newcomb, Beverly Raza, Jason, Charlene Kelly, Daniel and Faniel in Toronto, Frankie, Robert, Stacy, Judy, Sarah, Sherry, Ron and Marge, Terry, Tim and Michelle, Constance Wadlington, Toretta, Glenda, Larry Nichols, Melanie, Floyd, Amy and Eric Olson, Trudy, Gladys, Gerald Taylor, Diamond, Gregory, Irma, Travis John, Ertis, DeMarcus, Anne, Richard Brezen, Helen, Pearl, Irma, Grace, Rebecca, Linda and Joe in the UK, Dan and Jason Junker, Dion, Joshua and Johnny, Kalila, Aralee, the Marsh family, Julie Mullins, the Grant Anderson family, Chad Cowan, Randy Guerra, Barry Wolcott, Tina and CJ, Ray, Mackenzie, Deborah, Sally, Joe and family, Gina, Mary in Alaska, Veronica Thomas, Karen in Seattle, Michael Freeman, Megan, Trudy, Jeremiah Mask, Gwenady in Russia, Jeff Olson, Kelly in Texas, Jennifer in Kansas, Geneva Norris, Latasha Coleman, Seth Thomas, Jim Thomas and family, Tanisha Washington, Cindy, Guillermo, Eula Cooper, Robert Alexander, Leo Torres, Chris Elias, Jeff London, Jared and John Chambers and family, Eddie Tiny, Leslie Cavazos, Ryan Cadillo, Aaron Marsh, Jimmy in the UK, Valerie and Hillary Perry, Blanche Collins, Flick Mays, Michael Kuhlman, the Pope family, the Baldonado family, Mary Jo in Fargo, Danielle Duran, Dr. Marty Sanders, the Hargrave crew, Lena Davis family, Sharon in London, Billy Medlock, Lola Striggles, Rondella Canida, Day McCartney and family, Nicole, Shay Standifer and family, Billy Coleman, Rita Nixon, James Grace, Alton Johnson, the Johnson family, Tracy and Alice Daniels, the Elias family, Arlen, Kathy and Al Matthews, Deborah Yars DiLorenzo, Chadrick Watson, Kevin Giles, Eric, the Collins family, the Johnson family, Trevia Powell Clark and family, Ray LaBelle, Tony Delsey, Edward McFarland, Seth, Malaya Marnie Horton Fisher, Abe Martinez, Roscoe, Hattie Battle, Alberta and Chuck, Isabel, Enoch Bryant, Sister Wanda Burke, Anthony Canita, Trinity Johnson, Curtis Warren, Susan Trotter, Rhonda Pryor, Wanda Burke, James Washington, Enoch Bryant family, Aretha McKinney, Arlene Matthews, Lee Pittman, Blessed Harteben, Andre Giles, Penny, Bonnie, Loretta, Ray Charles, Wayne Jones Jr., Khadijah Cooper, Becky and family, Ashia and Kanisha Morrison, Jeff Olson family, Sybil Morrison family, Trelina Hope, the Gafford family, Emily Aguilar, Shaladra Kelly, Ann Downs, Evan Gudgeon, Latosha Coleman, Jackie Clark, Don Orth, Jason Kirkaby, Denise Doobie, Miss Stapleton, the Mooney family. And Father, these are the names of the young children who suffered and perished in the Chicago fire. Adrian Hernandez, age 14. Ariel Garcia, age 5. Xavier Contreras, age 11. Nathan Contreras, age 11. Cesar Contreras, age 14. Maya Alvarez, 3 months. Lani Ayaya, age 3. Grelani Ayaya, age 5. Giovanni Ayaya, age 10. And Victor Mendoza, age 16. Ricky, La Rosa, Paula, Netta, the Flores family, Rose Cummins, Val Hayward, the May family, Zefonso Davis, Michelle, Mac, Taylor, Ray, Alan, Willie Alton, Asila Freeman, Johnny Player Jr., Alicia, Berguano family, the Lake of Stamford, Kashari Warren, Christopher Anders, May Thomas, Callie Parson, Lisa Abbey, Joe Moore Sr., Joshua Judkin, Rachel, Dylan, Wanda, Gordon Biffle, Demarion Coleman, Mary Cox, Beth, and Megan. And I will leave you with this. Lord, help me to remember that nothing is going to happen to me today that you and I can't handle. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, guys, it has been wonderful. It has been wonderful. What a great visit we've had, and that's what these Heart Talk calls turn out to be. They're visits with family. You, me, everybody else. I think it's great. And, I come off these calls so energized. I don't know about you, but I'm just uplifted and energized. And it's all because of you, and I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for being here. And I'm going to let you go back out into the world now. I'm going to turn you loose back into the world. But before I do, I want to remind you that you are in my thoughts and prayers each and every day, and that I love you very much. And none of that.
Love you too.
Thank you. None of
You're
that
welcome.
will ever change.
Thank you.
And so with that, I'm going to say bye for now. But mark your calendars and be sure and come back next Tuesday, because we're going to do this again. and again, God willing, and again, because there's nothing like these heart talks. I think you'll all agree.
That's very true.
Yeah. So until next Tuesday, I'll be seeing you. In the meantime, you take care.
Alan,
yes.
I just want to add in that I have sent the information on EFT to you.
Awesome.
So if you don't get it, let me know.
Alrighty. Let me have a look real quick. Oh, I don't know this. I may have to restart my computer. She fell asleep. Here, let me just. There it is. I got it.
Okay.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you. All right, everybody. Until next time, next Tuesday, you stay safe out there. Be well. And I love you guys. I'll see you then.
We love you too.
Right.
Love
Bye
everybody.
now.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great day.
Bye, everybody.
You all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Have a blessed day for sure. Bye, everyone.